Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we are gonna take a look at the new band limited Errata list that Bandai has just dropped before we move on to Series 10. This is the 6th time I am recording this video because on the first 5 times I got a little bit emotional and just hearing what I've said, I believe I was being very unreasonable. So I hope I have come down already. So let's go straight into the deck, into the new list, and I'm gonna give you my opinions on that. Alright, we're gonna take a look together, even though I've shouted and on the mic already for like 5 times. Okay, let's go straight into the first card, Gogeta Hero Revived. Originally, we designed cards thinking that the game will end in turn 5 and 6. However, the game is becoming more and more interactive now. We are trying to move away from all-purpose powerful cards, enough you to win the game on their own. This card no longer fits the direction we want to go in the game and earning a spot in the ban list. So a running theme that you have, that you will hear from my complaint, it's like why now? Why wasn't it done earlier? This card has always been unfair. This card has always been like so overly powerful that it is unfair, and so we have been dealing with this card for quite some time now, and I hate this card. If you know me, I hate this card because I think this card is unfair. It does not promote skill. It is just a random chance. If you don't draw the negates, you basically lose. So it wasn't fun to play with this card. But it was just banned now because they just need to sell the new deck. So we're gonna see this very evidently in the next one, right? So should it be banned? Yes, it should be banned, but it should be banned way earlier. Yeah. So when it comes to Android 21 Violent Predator, originally this card was meant to promote the use of multicolor cards. However, with the new series, we want multicolor cards to be viable as well. So this card prevents players from effectively using monocolor cards and could potentially lead to meta where monocolor decks are effective, so we are adding it to the ban list. So no shit, Bandai. So it was okay to hate on monocolor decks before set 10. Right? So because we are all playing monocolor decks before this, and then when this card comes out, it was difficult to play monocolor decks because someone slaps on this card on the table, we are basically GG, it's gone, right? Because this deck, it's very defensive and it ramps, and then it gets to 8 energy, drop this card. I just lost. But I was playing a game recently, and my monocolor decks just lost because my opponent drops this card because there is no monocolor energy, there's no multicolor energy anywhere else on my table. All right, so just don't sugarcoat it, just tell us as it is. You want to sell the new set, so it's not about monocolor decks. The new set just happened to be a monocolor series, so that's why you banned this card. My second question is, what about people who love playing Android 21 decks? So what are you gonna do with this card then? Because this card wasn't even played, so you know, if you continue with the series, if there are multicolor cards, if you designed your decks, if you design your new set properly, this would not be hit. This was hit, and I feel very unfairly because well, the game will end in 5 and 6, so why not you try to end this game in your turn 4 and 5 then? Because the new set does not do it, that's why this card was banned. It's because of the new set, it's not because there's a problem with this card. Another problems that I have with the card design, it's with this with the game design. It's very evident when it comes to these 2 cards. So this 2 card, Begrudging Respect Piccolo and Force Ejection Marseille, was banned with the same thing. They created this card to deal with objection and also the SS3 Goku, right? And other ramp-oriented cards. However, since those cards are no longer threats they once were, they believe that this card will unnecessarily limit future card design and thus deserving a ban. So my question is, if they are no longer a threat, so why do you want to ban the card in the first place? And the second thing that I have is this. It's a problem with this game design. So objection was a problem, SS3 was an even bigger problem. So instead of dealing with the problem, they printed out these 2 cards and said, okay, now you have these 2 cards, go and use these 2 cards to deal with the problem. At a point of time when anyone who complains about a ramp strategy, some people would just point out, oh, this 2 card exists, so why don't you put it in your psych decks? Yeah. And the other problem that I have also, and however, we all know the same, similar with Chronoa, it doesn't really deal with Sugash, right? This Silver Bullet does not really deal with Sugash. So what happened is that eventually Objection and SS3 gets banned. They got banned. So, but in the meantime, we have to deal with Objection and SS3 for a longer period of time, because they printed out this card and they said, okay, go ahead and deal with this. So Bandai, moving forward, please do this. If there's a problem with a certain card, don't print cards to deal with them. Deal with the main issue, right? Sugash was an issue, you print Konoha, and then you found out after several months that we are still having problems with Sugash, and then you decided to ban, you said, okay, screw this, let's ban Sugash. Objection was a problem, SS3 was a problem, you create this card to deal with them, and then you found out, that we also found out as a player that all these cards also kind of, you remember the Vegeta issue with the draft box Vegeta, where you can actually chain this and lock the people down. So these cards actually create a problem of their own, and then eventually they went in and deal with Objection and SS3. Because Silver Bullet also deals with other cards that are unfairly charged, unfairly other decks that doesn't really was that a problem, and they are being unfairly penalized. So things like Zamasu, right? It wasn't a big problem, but if you have this card, you could deal with Zamasu. No, the problem was SS3. You create a card for SS3, might as well don't create a card and deal with SS3. Same with Mercenary Town. Yep. Alright, here we go. Plan for Destruction. I hate this because this was created for Fuse Zamasu in Goku Black. However, with the new card Zeno, they print one card Zeno, and because they realized that this can be looped, they ban it. Of course, for the good of the game, they need to ban this because this will get very, very dangerous. However, it also kind of cripple a lot of the old Zamasu. BT2 Zamasu has been crippled right now because there's no access to Objection, there is no access to Plan of Destruction. I will see how this new Zeno plays. Yeah. Alright, Turtle is something that they created this card, and this card wasn't funny, and then they need to ban it. They should have banned it way earlier. Alright, when it comes to card Errata, that's when things get interesting. Most of the things that when it comes to Errata, I would say that that's a good thing though. Of course, the question is, why not earlier, right? The reason is very simple. When it comes to such leaders, you see that 2 such leaders will be hit. It's because they want to sell the such leaders. Excuse me. 5 times Screaming and 6 times this one. I think I'm a little bit more relaxed. Okay, when it comes to Goku Black, this card works far too well with the new card, the Zeno Cosmic Unison. It will also cause players to ignore other RAM strategies, so they are creating an Errata for it. So the Errata is this, that with 2 or more blue energy, you choose one card in your life and place it in your energy area. You cannot place card in your energy area for the turn. Of course, you have other additional thing, you have to drop the card. However, it is just to make it that if you use Zeno's ability, you cannot use Goku's Black's ability. If you use Goku Black's ability, you cannot use Zeno's ability. You can only use it like one of them each, right? Alright, Supreme Card, basically Goku Black is dead. Supreme Card of Time, Unison History. As written, this card allows for an unintentional interaction between Paragas and Chilai. If you don't know, I have a video on it, just search it on my channel, or I just put it in the description link, which allows players to add cards to their life. Okay, so what does it mean? This is the thing. Add one card to your life, and then you choose one card, add one card in your life to your hands, and then one card in your hands and place it in your life. The change here is this, that you may add one card in your life and to your hands. If you do so, you choose one card from your hand and place it in your life. So what happened here when it comes to Paragas and Chilai, in short, they prevent you from taking life. So they just errata this so that you have to do the first thing before you can do the second thing. The first one is you don't have to do it. You can do those 2 actions, one card from your life to your hands and one card from your hand to your life independently. But moving forward, you have to add one card to your life from your hands. If you do that, then you can do the second action. So it's just to prevent you from adding life to your hands, which is pretty amazing. I'm just sad that it didn't get it didn't work. Okay, for this one, it's a very simple change. It's by skill to your opponent's skill. Alright, so this is simple. So when it comes to search, alright, so when we're trying our best to design cards to make games more interactive, however, this card defensive capability is far too high and can be used by many decks to stall for several turns. No shit. Turning leading games to longer time, and he's just too defensive. We are adding a card, Errata, to this card to make sure that doesn't cause the game to stall in a long time. So the difference is that now instead of activate main and battle, it's still activate main and battle. It's still once per turn, but it can be done only during your turn, during your main or during your battle. Yeah, in the past, people swing. Like I remember one time I swing with my like an Ultra Instinct, and the guy said no combo. I was like, okay, finish, I win, yeah, because you cannot combo. But he turns it around and then he just removed my skill, my triple strike. I would be like, oh shit, it's just way too powerful. Right, when it comes to Piccolo, it's the same. So Piccolo draws a little bit too much, and Blast Hand Destruction, it is very difficult to deal with him. I think Piccolo might be the only one that draws cards during your turn. Nope. I think Goku too. Goku can draw your card during your turn. However, most of the leaders are recycled. Like for example, Broly, it's recycling. Cell, it's recycling because you draw one, you drop one. Broly, it's you combo one, you draw one. But when it comes to Piccolo and Goku, you get to draw additional cards. So what it does here is that instead of drawing the cards, you cannot draw the cards anymore. So you scribe, right? You take a look at the top card. If you like it, you put it on top. If you don't like it, you put it down. Then you draw a card during your main phase. In the past, you get to draw 2 cards because you can draw that card, and then during your draw phase, you draw another card. So that's it. So the effective date is June the 5th for everywhere else. And when it comes to the French and Italians, love them. It's pre-release and release date where they don't have it right now. Yep. So in summary, what I would like to say here is this: that I believe that for the good of the game, it is. But it does affect some people for good, but it is very blatant right now when it comes to what they want to sell, right? Because like this should be banned way earlier, so it's not okay now. This card is unfair now, right? But it wasn't unfair the set before. This card exists for quite some time though, yeah. And Violent Predator is. It's okay to hate on monocolor decks in the past, but now it is not. Just tell us that you want to sell the new set. All right, we are able to deal with this. And also very ass backward game design when it comes to, like, instead of dealing with problems like objection and SS3, they create cards to deal with them, and then the cards failed, and the card is creating some problems for other decks that is coming in the future. It limits game design in the future, and then they just, oh, we should ban this card. We ban the cards that we create to deal with those cards that we should deserve a ban, that we eventually ban it in the first place. All right, hey guys, thanks for listening. I'm sorry that I get very whiny, and I'm just like shaking my head most of the time when I look at this. The thing is, why only now? Yep. All right, guys, thank you and ciao.